Hi, I'm Gary.
Hello, I'm Leon, the grandfather.
We are Gary and...
The grandfather.
Wow. So tomorrow's a holiday.
Tomorrow's a holiday, yeah, and tomorrow's
Feels great.
a new beginning.
A new beginning.
Yeah,
Well, that's right.
yeah.
It is.
A new beginning. I was thinking to myself, that it's because I'm now old and all of those things. Gary, that here you are in a situation that a lot of old people are pretty cranky. You've probably noticed, pretty bitter, pretty angry.
Sure.
And even myself, and I'm in pretty good shape. When I get up in the morning, sometimes my back is sore, my shoulders sore, my head hurts. But then I think to myself, hold on there, old man, hold on. This is another day. 10 million people last night died. You didn't. So get up and generate some joy. So every day, I thought today perhaps we could talk about the new beginning, right?
Sure.
What do you think?
Well, I'll start off with my job as a teacher. And I work with the same children. I see the same children every day. See them from 8:30 in the morning till about 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
Just playing with them, taking care of them, teaching them, of course. Not only teaching them about language and science and art, but also trying to mold them into
Sensitive, caring
sensitive,
beings.
caring beings. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I always try to show them is that, like you said, every day is a new day. Every day I walk into that classroom, that daycare center there, to start my work. What happened the day before, it doesn't matter in terms of if they were naughty or rude or, even really well behaved.
Yeah.
Because every day is a new day, and I try to look at every day from an objective position as one of the two adults in that room.
Yeah.
So I always tell the kids, I say, even sometimes, I'll even look at it sometimes from a morning and an afternoon perspective as well.
Yeah.
Because they'll have a nap time. At lunchtime, they have a nap. I go out for lunch.
Yeah.
2 hours later, I've had my lunch, I've had a coffee, I've done other work, and they come back. And sometimes some of these kids, maybe they'll be cranky in the morning and just inconsolable. And they'll just say to them, it's coming around lunchtime, they're really upset. I just say, look, I say, you know what, Johnny? I say, just you can have your lunch. I'm gonna have my lunch. You take a nap. It doesn't matter what happened now. We can play in the afternoon. It's totally, totally fresh start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they wake up from the nap, totally different person. Everything's roses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's important. This is just one example, but I think it's important not to carry that baggage into another day,
Yeah.
or another day, or another day,
Sure.
or whatever.
Sure. Gary, for sure as we mature and we get older and we have our own life crises, I mean, it's impossible to believe that you forget what has happened to you, right? Obviously, terrible things happened the previous day or whatever.
Sure.
Some catastrophe has happened. But I think the major point of the new beginning is that because the past is the past, whatever happened is yesterday. There's no question. Whatever antecedents stay with me today, crises, whatever, I can reflect on them in a totally different way today because everything is new, in theory, today. So it's meant to give you an overall positive approach. Like life is hard. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, it's not easy to be alive and be conscious and thoughtful and caring and ambitious and all of that. But it's really how I approach it, and if I'm a fighter, which I highly recommend, and then when I wake up, I can say, oh, I've been given a new opportunity, basically. 10 million people, like I said, 10 million people didn't wake up last night, supposedly, in our, our almost 8 billion population on this planet, right?
Well, if something, when I wake up, if something, if the day before there was something that I wasn't too fond of, I'll say, okay, well, first thing I'll say, thank you, Lord, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm well. It's the first thing. And then from there, I think, well, it's a new day, like you said. It's a new day. Let's see what's in store for this day.
Absolutely.
And
you don't know.
Yeah, you really don't know.
Yeah.
And well, something else about those less pleasant moments, but to put it into perspective a bit. Do you prefer good or interesting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good or interesting?
Yeah.
And sometimes, like some of the horrible things, maybe not everything's that horrible. Maybe I'm just exaggerating a little bit. But some of the things, less than pleasant things, experiences I've gone through, now they make for good stories.
Yeah.
Where at the time you're thinking, oh no, like come on. Yeah. And then it makes for a good story later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you turn it into a learning experience.
Yeah. I had an aside. I had a friend who the postman always used to. At one time in Canada, actually used to deliver the mail. They would actually bring it to your door. And this one day, the postman arrived, and my friend opened the door, and the postman looked very dour, very sad. He said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Oh, there's been a terrible thing. There's been death in the family." He said, "Oh, that's terrible. What happened?" He said, "Well, 6 of us at the post office always buy a lottery ticket, and we rotate every 6 weeks. I have to buy one, so on and so forth. And it was John's turn to buy last night, and we won. Except John didn't buy."
What?
So they had, I guess, millions of dollars. The lotteries are in Canada usually millions. He didn't buy they had their own set numbers. He just forgot.
So they had the numbers that they picked, but he didn't buy the ticket.
So they were gonna kill him. I guess basically they were so upset. Right? Yeah.
No.
That'd be a hard one, eh? Yeah, a death in the family. Yeah, that would be the next day would be a new beginning. Funny, eh?
I don't think there would be many new beginnings from that.
Yeah.
If I was John.
Yeah, I think I'd be gone. Where's John? John's the gone John.
Yeah.
We haven't seen John. We don't know what happened to John.
I don't
John
think I'd be
gone.
showing my face around there much.
Yeah,
Could
but
you
I'm
imagine?
sure it happens amongst people. You buy the lottery, you never win, and it's your turn. And I'm tired. I don't want to go to the shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Just let it pass, eh? Oh, I had my fortune read. I had my fortune.
Did you?
Yeah. A young woman took me out for coffee on Saturday. She's an enlightened young creature, if I may describe her this way. She's a wonderful woman. And she looked at my hand, and she said, "You're going to die." No, she didn't. She said, "You're going to live a long life, and you're going to be rich and famous." And then she said, "Pay me later." So there's my new beginning. It kind of made me smile.
Your new beginning.
Yeah, but seriously, you think to yourself, how am I going to structure this new beginning? Becomes the big question, right? And I tell you, this is my secret. Gary, this is my secret. Here it is. The notebook. I believe that if a guy writes in the notebook, basically you have a routine. You write in the notebook every single day, just the day and the date. Good enough, right? Good enough. The day and the date. How's that? Yeah, that's better, right? The day and the date, right? And then you slowly begin to develop that routine, right? And I think it works, and it works well, because you start to probe you, and I also write in my notebook two other things. I write, beauty moment. So I set my phone to 12:30, so it rings at 12:30, and then I ask myself, what did I learn today? Every day, I want to learn something. Like you taught me something over dinner, for instance. That's why I was writing down.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, those two things you taught me.
What was it? What did I teach you? Why don't you share it to the audience?
Yeah, you taught me that in a moment of crises, usually two things happen. Either a person is absolutely filled with fear, and they can't go forward, or they're victims. Poor me, and that's why you devolve into alcoholism and drug abuse, and because those two things, you're essentially afraid, which all of us are. How do I go forward? And then poor me, I'm a victim. Nothing I can do. I just got to ride this train of pain and suffering until I die or somebody saves me. And the big mistake with all religions is that no self-respecting religion tells you God's coming to save you, right? You got to present yourself to God. Then God says, Gary, okay, man, I'm going to now talk to you, right? But if you're just there, the poor little frail, I know Christ did some wonderful miracles, but I think the theology has evolved, personally. What I read, people like St. Augustine, St. Thomas Aquinas, these people want a dynamic relationship with God. They don't want you to be some poor little weak flower in the corner, right? That's what my interpretation of the New Testament, at least from what I've read. What do you think?
Well, the getting back with the brand new day thing.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking about. Well, you said for you is the notebook, and for me, I swear by it. I make lists.
Wow.
So I'll always every day I have the routine. Stop at this shop and get my breakfast, and then from there, I go into work.
Yeah.
Sit at my desk.
Yeah.
Kind of the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's my happy period.
The kids aren't in yet?
They're in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll talk to them, but they're eating their breakfast. Some are playing with toys.
Yeah.
And I'll just be sitting there thinking about the day, thinking about what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I write my lists, things I want to do. Then I'll highlight the things that I want to get accomplished over lunch.
Wow.
So some things are, because with my job, I get the luxury of taking a 2.5 hour lunch.
Wow, fantastic.
So
wow.
I'll eat my lunch.
Boy, it's like you're in Spain, for God's sakes.
Yeah. And then after lunch, I'll go and I'll have a coffee.
Yeah.
And essentially what I'll do, I'll give myself about 45 minutes, which is lunchtime, plus when I arrive in at the coffee shop, about 15 minutes to drink the coffee, relax a bit, and get those gears turning in my head. But then for the rest of the time, I get back to work. Sit down, get back to work, just doing other work, not my my day job work, but other work, writing or something. And so yeah, in the mornings, I'll always write down and highlight in yellow what I want to get done at lunchtime.
Wow.
Then I'll also have things that I want to get done when I go home.
Wow.
And some of the things, sometimes I'll prioritize it. Say I need to do 1, 2, 3, and then I need to do this afterwards. Other times I don't. Sometimes I will say I want to work 1 hour on this project, 30 minutes on this, and then the rest, whatever I can get done. It just depends. And then I'll look at these lists. I'll keep it in my pocket, and I'll look at it throughout the day.
Well,
to keep me
cool.
focused
Yeah,
as I'm
cool. But if it works for you,
working. Yeah.
if it works for you, man. That's all that matters.
And at the end of the day, at the end of the night, as I'm getting ready for bed, if I look at my list and there's hardly anything's crossed off. Well, I'm not feeling too good about that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need days like that.
Yeah, you don't, yeah,
You do
for sure.
sometimes.
For sure.
Sometimes for the day I'll think, well, I don't really have anything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I'll just give myself a free day. More
Yeah,
or
let
less.
it slip. I give myself a mark, you know. I give myself a mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. And I give my.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I decide give myself, and I'm most of my days are between 7.5 and 8.5.
So what would your criterion be for
Mood,
this?
ambition, success, right? Accomplishment,
Mhm.
right? Usually I grade myself in what, you know, my mind is, all of our minds are working, so do I consider it a successful day? I guess, and there, all these factors are involved, right? Did I accomplish this writing? Was I on time for this job? Did I proceed in a certain direction? Has my mission been nudged forward a little bit, etc., right? So,
Well, you know something. This is a bit of an aside as well,
mm,
but I'm getting interviewed by this guy who's in one of my industries I'm
Yeah.
involved. And it was about a magazine I just launched,
mm,
and he had this whole list of questions, and I started looking over them and started responding to typing out responses. And one of his questions was something about like, where do you get the ideas for your magazine?
wow,
Because my magazine, it's about it's entertainment industry.
wow.
So
In Taiwan,
it does involve
internationally,
well,
in general,
it's a focus on
video game,
entertainment. Yeah, like
gaming is.
not modern gaming, retro gaming,
Okay.
as well as culture and travel. But the culture and travel is mostly linked to Taiwan and other parts of Asia.
Wow. Okay.
Japan, I guess. So, but mostly Taiwan and Japan.
Hmm.
So it's a combination. And so the one question this guy, he asked where I get the ideas for the articles that are within the magazine.
Hmm.
And I thought to myself, well, you know why? Just think about it. Well, it's because I've slowed down, even though I do have a busy life, I do a lot of things. I've slowed down my life. Like I tell you, I used to have a scooter, and I used to go driving to work every day.
Hmm.
Live about 1.5 miles from my work.
Okay.
And I want to get a scooter again because that's really fun in summertime to go cruising around and that's fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the reason I didn't prioritize getting another scooter after my first one had broke down was because it's easier to slow down if you travel in places on foot.
Absolutely. Oh, it's not the truth.
And so, yeah, that's where I get my ideas because I walk around
Yeah, well said.
and I observe people.
Yeah.
I observe things. I look at signs on the shops, display windows. I look at the flowers, the trees,
Yeah.
the temples or the churches or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just stop. I look at things.
Yeah.
And when I look at things, then I start thinking about things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes. Well,
I've been able to slow down my life, but at the same time, I've been accomplishing more than I used to accomplish just 1 or 2 years ago because I've become more efficient.
Yeah.
I've become more efficient because I started focusing
Yeah.
and making the lists helps me
Wow.
focus.
There's a movement actually, Gary, in this area. It's called the slow movement. It has slow food, slow travel, slow education. It's very interesting, and they're, exactly. This guru, this yoga conference I went to in India, the guru, Sadhguru, he said one thing that I think is very, very true. Well, two things actually. The one was that I decide my day. So when I wake up and I feel angry and grouchy and anxious, whatever it is, I can decide if I want to proceed with that mood or not. And some days I do, like you say. Some days I want a bad day. I don't want every day to be a perfect day.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I don't. But other days I do, and I change the mood, and I have a good day. You know, the weather affects me quite a bit. But I mean, I'm getting better, of course. And the other thing that he said is observe everything. I had a girlfriend once, and she taught me how to. We used to go to a park and lie face down in the park. Not face up looking at the sky, face down and look at the bugs, the bees, and the plants. And I was horrified initially, right? But then eventually, and it was kind of charming. She would be there looking for, flowers. And I just missed her whole, one of the great mistakes of my life. I was too naive in a way, too inexperienced in life to actually identify with what she was actually showing me, right? And I always remember this now. That observe. Funny story. I'm going to one of the university. I teach at Donghai. Going to the university, and I'm very busy, and I got my bags and my books, and I got this big lecture coming up, and blah blah blah. I walk across the sidewalk, and there's a stream of ants that are running from the one wall down, across in front of me, up, and then there's a wall around 5 meters away, and up the wall they go. And I stopped, and I looked at the ants, and I waited, and you know what? Not one of those ants looked up and said, "Oh my God, Leon's here." Not one, right? And I thought, wow, isn't that something? I'm not very important, am I? Right, in my own little ridiculous world, but I was able to see that those ants that were so busy, And David Attenborough says that actually their ants are like blood. They don't have, they have a group consciousness as opposed to individual consciousness.
Yeah.
Interesting idea, eh?
Yeah, I've heard about this as well.
Yeah. So I think that's why I'm so excited about the new beginning, right? Every single day, give yourself a chance. And like you said, if you're afraid, get over it. We're all afraid of everything, right? Of everything. And then don't be a victim. Don't be a victim.
Gosh. Well, just to revisit the thing about the bugs. This is kind of very, it's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's not so fun for you because this is generational gap here.
Oh dear.
But the surely you've seen the Pokemon, right?
Yeah, for
the
sure.
The Pokemon craze.
Of course.
Well, the reason that this whole thing, the idea for collecting these Pokemon, critters, was because the guy who had thought it up, he used to, as a child, go looking for hunting bugs and collecting bugs in Japan.
Wow.
So,
and that's why there's no bugs in Japan today, probably. They got them all on billboards.
So I just thought to myself, when you're talking about the woman and in the park and looking at the bugs and the flowers, and I thought, yep. And just by observing that very thing, and that's where that whole $1 billion Pokemon franchise stemmed from.
Amazing.
Something so similar like that.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Yeah, looking.
Yeah.
Something I was listening to this morning I thought you'd find very interesting. Our 5 senses, right? Sight and taste and touch and feeling, right? Feeling and hearing, the 5 of them. So, but this morning there's a program called Closer to Truth, and they interviewed a neurologist, and he had done an experiment with a monkey, and he had removed part of the monkey's brain that controls sight.
Okay.
And over time, he adopted the monkey. Eventually, over time, the monkey began to see without being able to see. So it was, if you will, it was blind. He called it blind sight. Blind sight. And the monkey, because the monkey is not a human being, the monkey didn't consciously know that she was blind, whereas human beings know. But he's experimented with human beings, and he finds that if you think I'm blind, then you can't see. But if you just think to yourself, it's one of my senses, you're able to actually visualize and see. And this monkey was so good with this blind sight that she could meander, she could catch. If you threw a ball, she could catch the ball. She could grab insects in the air. Blind sight, fantastic. What makes you think? My point is, it makes you think about perception. You see, right? That we can have wonderful perceptive realities. It's my mind that creates my joy on a daily basis. No matter, I mean, this is Franco, right? You can have the most awful circumstance, and yet you can say to yourself, there's hope. I'm going to get out of this financial crisis. But now our society, I don't think it would be probably war. It would be something financial. You know, you invest in the stock market. I've done that. All the money is gone. Wow, and you're overextended.
Did you see that guy in Taiwan, Taichung City?
No.
Where he invested in some sort of cryptocurrency.
Oh, is that Taichung?
Yeah, it was in Taichung.
He lost everything.
He lost everything and killed himself.
No, I didn't see. He killed himself.
Yeah, he jumped out of his high rise.
No, how stupid.
And killed himself. Lost everything.
Don't kill yourself over
Jumped
money.
out of his high rise and killed himself.
Don't kill yourself over money. Kill yourself. You want to kill yourself? Kill yourself over love. Over passion.
Well, don't, no. Disclaimer from me. Don't kill yourself over anything, you know.
I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. The point is, absolutely don't kill yourself over money, because you can get money again. Absolutely. No question. I know it. Personal experience.
Well, you know, with observing, to go back to the whole observation, but yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Well,
you know, that guy
lost everything.
Lost everything.
Like
he went from like 2 million US to peanuts. Yeah.
Wow.
But
recently?
Yeah, it's just maybe last week.
Wow.
But
there's a guy in Korea. Said I'm asking a guy in Korea about some coin. Went from 2,000 to 2 cents.
Yeah. But
one day.
This was in Taichung.
Well, maybe it's the same currency.
Yeah, it might have been the same. Wow. Yeah, it could have been. But with observations again, something maybe you haven't thought about it. I don't know. But I was sitting watching my cat one day. Okay, he's a tabby cat. He's got one of the classic like M's on across his head. But did you know that cats, their stripes are symmetric?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
That they're symmetric. And it's because of how I guess the embryo, how it's made and duplicates or whatever, splits.
Cats hate me.
That they
just so you know, they hate me. No, I hate cats, but they come to me.
But they're the stripes are symmetric.
Wow, fantastic.
And that's something.
So what your cat taught you a lesson?
I was just looking at it one day. It's looking at him, and I was just, staring at him, looking at. It's just thought, wait a second. Yeah. The stripes are, and also every cat's stripes are gonna be different from all the others. Patterns are gonna be just like fingerprints or whatever.
I can believe
so they're gonna be different, but yeah, symmetric.
Wow. So, I guess, please remember to have a new beginning each and every day, because it's a beautiful life, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Every day is a clear slate.
That's right.
Clean slate.
Right? And you know what they say? Say your prayers. I think that's necessary in life. Talk to your God, however you conceptualize him, her, or whatever.
Count your blessings.
Count your blessings. Love your family. Be grateful. Right?
Yeah. That's another one. What's it said? John Mayer. He had a song years back. What was it? It's called "Say." Say what you need to say, and I think it's so true. Tell the people in your life.
Yeah. That you love them.
That you love them.
Wow.
Or that the people who've inspired you or helped you or whatever,
Wow.
just let them know.
Wow.
As well.
Yeah. So, I love you, Gary.
Wow, that sounded really sarcastic. I love
but
you
I do.
too, Grandfather.
I do. That wasn't sarcastic at all. You hurt my feelings.
I think we better get going before we start.
I'm going to weep here in a moment. Yeah.
fight. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go.
So-
All right. Yep.
So, grandfather out.
Gary out.
God bless. Bye bye.
Bye bye.